Hey y'all, it's Brenda. Welcome to Life on Goldman Road. Today we are going to be doing salsa. I have about a half of a 5-gallon bucket of tomatoes, and they need to be processed in some way so they don't go bad. So I have got a wreck in my kitchen. I need to spread out for canning. I got to get some work done. All right, y'all, we did not make any progress on the salsa yesterday. I just didn't have it in me, so here we are the next day. I have tomatoes on the stove that we are taking the skins off. I already have a batch in my sink, and I have another small batch here in the bowl ready to go into the water when I take these out. Now, it's not taking these very long at all. I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can get you closer. You can tell when the skin starts to loosen. It'll start bubbling away from the skin. If you can see that, I know it's hard to see, but that little piece of skin is already taken away from the tomato. So these are almost ready. Got the last batch on, so I'm probably needing to add some ice to my sink because you want to stop that cooking process. Now, these are probably not the ideal tomatoes to make salsa. They are just a slicing tomato, so they're going to have a lot of juice. I am okay with that. I like a, what's the word, more liquid or a loose salsa than a thick salsa. So I think this is going to work out fine for what we enjoy. A lot of the recipes that I read, you would want more of a Roma tomato maybe while making a salsa, but for our purposes this will be fine. Now I have got jalapenos and onions and cilantro to go in. Also, there's going to be some apple cider vinegar, probably a little bit of sugar. I'll just have to look at my recipe, and of course I will post it down below in the description underneath the video. So underneath the video, if you'll look at the title and then it says more, click more, and it should drop a box to where you can see the recipe. Let me get some more ice on these tomatoes. These, just that quick. The skins are already turning loose from these, so these are going to be ready in just a second. And then once I get the skins off, I'll show you how we are going to chop everything up. All right, I got all the tomatoes done and they're in the sink in cool water. So I'm going to go ahead and get the skins off. And let me show you my little chopper. All right, here is one of my little choppers. I got it at Walmart. I will try to remember to link it down below, but just go over to the kitchen stuff and you should be able to find it. But and I'm sure you've seen it everywhere online, but it has the little plates, and I'm using the smallest one, and I've got something on this one. I've got to find the little brush and get that off. But anyway, you put on here and then you just close the lid and it chops and goes right into the bowl. So easy. So we are definitely going to do onions and peppers with this. That way everything will be the same size. Now I am using pretty much the smallest size because I am not one that likes to just bite into a great big old onion. I don't know what's on that, but I got to get it off. But can you see? Not whatever's, it's a piece of onion. I know what it is. It's really small. So we're going to do that size. Now I got to figure out how to get it back in here. No, turn it around. We're going to do this size for our salsa, and we're going to see how that works out. Now, I do have a little bit bigger size. This comes with different attachments. I do have a screen that is a little bit bigger that would probably work better with, say, the tomatoes. But I would like my veggies, my bell pepper, my jalapeno pepper, all of that to go through this. let me see if I can find my other attachment and I'll show you. It also has like a grater or a slicer, mandolin, that's what it's called. So there's different attachments that goes along with this. So really neat. I'll try to link it down below. Okay, I think we are finally ready to go. I did not find my bigger attachment for my chopper. So what I did, and it's probably not right, but this is the way I do it. I did my tomatoes like I do my crushed tomatoes. I take my fingers and dig in right there at that core, and then I just milk that tomato off. So in this pot, let me tilt you down. In this pot, we have about 14-ish cups of tomato and juice. And yes, it is very liquidy. Now, we will be adding some tomato sauce to that. That will help thicken it. The recipe also calls for, depending on which one I use, does calls for tomato sauce. We're not going to put that in there because we don't need it because we have the juice of the tomatoes. So let us get started on chopping vegetables. We're going to do 3 cups of chopped onions. We're going to do about 8 jalapenos. We're going to remove the seeds from most of them. We're going to do, it calls for a cup and 3/4 of green peppers, like bell peppers. Well, my grocery store was out, so we have red, yellow, and orange, and it's going to be fine. We've got some garlic, cumin, pepper, canning salt, fresh cilantro, sugar, and I'm going back and forth, apple cider vinegar or white vinegar. And then the tomato paste. So real easy. Then we're going to simmer this, and I have my jars in my dishwasher right now washing, and then we're going to water bath them for 20 minutes. Easy, easy, easy. And then we will have salsa. So let's get going on veggies. Okay, I have 3 good sized onions peeled, and I'm going to chop them just a little bit before we get them through our chopper. So I've got you at this angle so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Now I moved my chopper over here because I couldn't bang it. And I really can't bang it a whole lot because Grayson is taking a nap. So let's see how this goes. That's not too bad. Let's keep going. All right, let's see how much onion we have. All right. Let's see if we can measure some of this out without getting it everywhere. There's 2 cups. I'm going to add that in. And I think it's going to be fine. Alright, so we actually got 4 cups instead of 3, but that's okay. But let me show you the onion. We're in little bitty pieces. which is perfect. All right, on to jalapeno. I couldn't find my jalapeno core, so I've got a peeler. It has a point on it, so I'm hoping I can get in there and do what I need to do. So we're going to do 8 jalapenos. Let me wash these right quick. Also, you may notice I have gloves on now because I'm the world's worst to touch a jalapeno and then I would touch my face. So we are going to get these, the ends chopped off, and then we're going to try to hold them out probably over the garbage can because I really don't want their seeds everywhere. And we will chop one with seeds in it. Now, there was only 10 in the bag, and since we have a few more onions and a little bit extra tomatoes, we're going to go ahead and put them in. And if it's hot, that's okay. Clarence and I enjoy a little heat to our salsa. So, let me get the ends out of the way and see what we can do with this core. Now, what we're going to try to do is go in and just hold those seeds out. So let me see if I can show you. Just like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other 9, and we will chop them up. Okay, went on and cleaned them all. They're not perfect, so there is still some seeds in pretty much every one of them. So there was one that was crooked. It has a lot, I don't know if you can see down in there, but yeah. So we're gonna go with this. Let's see if we can chop all of this in our little chopper. Grayson has gotten up, so therefore I don't have to be as quiet. So let's try just cutting it in half. Come on. And see what we can do. Okay, works pretty good. Okay. Could we have done all of this in the food processor? Yes, we could have. But, you know, anyway, we didn't. So, again, our jalapenos are the same size as our onions. Going in. Perfect. Now we are going to do our bell peppers. And like I said, my store did not have green, so we're working with what we have. So we're just going to get them chopped. These have already been washed, so we're good there. Now, as a lot of people will strain the seeds out of the tomatoes, but I don't have a problem with seed being in there. So we left them in. Now let's chop our peppers. All right, got our peppers chopped. They didn't chop as easy. They were maybe a little tough, but it'll all cook down. It'll be fine. Okay, so peppers, same way, same little chunks. We were supposed to have a cup, I think, or a cup and 3/4. Anyway, we're close. I'm not going to measure it out because we're a little extra and over with everything else. Okay. Now, let me kind of wash this off and see where I am. We have one more thing to chop. We have cilantro to chop. Now, I've tried to, it doesn't look bad actually. I've tried to keep it fresh. They said if you would roll it in a paper towel, that would help keep it fresh. So I did, and what do you know, the trick worked. So let's see if we can get this off. We're just going to do the top of the cilantro. Alright. Now, if you don't like cilantro, leave it out. It's not a big deal. There are some people that do not like cilantro. There are some people that think it tastes, or to them, it tastes like soap. So if you don't like it, just don't put it in. So it's not a big thing. It's got a different taste. Anyway, let's see if it will go through the chopper. I don't know. Okay, worked pretty good. It's tiny, so it wants to stick in the little grate. Let me see if I can get it to pop out. I'm just working it through and brushing it off. Okay, got some on our this, so we're going to rake it up. And I have a little brush that will clean this up, so no worries there. I just want to get as much as I can out. And I think that is good. We're going to add it in. Okay. We are good. All right, now let me wash this up. Let's see. My stove is not on anywhere, so we're okay. All right, tomatoes, onion, peppers, jalapenos, garlic. We've got to mince garlic, so I've got to get my chopper right back out. Cilantro. And then our spices. So let me grab the garlic. Okay, I just got the bag of garlic at Walmart that's already peeled. That way it is easy to deal with. My stars, getting in that bag. All right, let me move this out of the way so I can have room. So we're doing, it says 7 garlic cloves, 3, 4. All right. There's 6. We'll do 10 or 12. 11, 12. We'll do 12. All right.
Oh, well, over here.
All right, garlic going in. Clarence just went back outside, so the dogs were cutting up. All right, we have all of our things in except our spices. Let me rearrange you. Now, the garlic is resealable, so I'm going to just stick this back in the fridge and say in a couple of days, if I have not used it, I'll just freeze it. No big deal there. So let's get a spoon and see what we got going on in here. Again, the stove is not on right now. That looks like a salsa. And I've got some big tomato pieces still in there. Okay. That is a lot of onion. All right. Let's start adding our spices and our tomato sauce. Okay, we're going to add 12 ounces of tomato paste. This will help thicken because we are not going to add the sauce that it calls for. All right. And I have small cans. I have the 6 ounce, so we just need the 2 cans for 12 ounces. And I got out 3 by mistake. So there we go. 2 cans of tomato paste. Let me see what is next on our list. Thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So I added 2.5 tablespoons of my salt. This is ground cumin, so it's 1, 2.5. Next is our pepper. So 1, 2.5. Alright, I'm doing a 1/3 cup of sugar. And I decided to go with white vinegar. Whoa, that's full. What else? Vinegar, paste, sugar, cilantro, salt, pepper, cumin, garlic, jalapenos, peppers, onions, tomatoes. That, my friends, is everything. And that is a full pot. Okay. This says bring it to a boil for 20 minutes. Let's see. Bring to a boil, reduce heat, and then simmer for 10 minutes. Now, is this pot going to be big enough, or do I need to find a bigger pot? Decisions. Let me think. All right, it is afternoon. It is actually a little after 7. I have got my salsa onto cooking finally. life. Had to go to the chicken house. This has been probably cooking for a little too long, but I don't want crunchy salsa. I just don't. This has a little bit of a vinegar wang, so I'm not sure yet if I'm going to add something. I don't know. I gotta research for just a minute, but anyway, it's looking really good. We'll see. Welcome back to day 3 of canning salsa. I just needed to carve out a couple of hours to get this done, but it hasn't worked out. So I put it in the fridge last night. Once it cooled down, Clarence took out a little sample. He said it's great, so it's good to go. I have it back on the stove today. I'm just going to bring it back up to temperature. I have my canner filling up with water. I hope that we can get through this and get them in jars, canned, sealed, and finished. Now the reason we are having so much trouble getting this canned up, I had to do everything that needed to be done yesterday afternoon at the chicken house. Clarence and I got that finished. We also are trying to put together a pool. Go figure. Right here in the middle of summer, we're trying to get a pool set up. It's an above ground pool, and I will show you a picture. Right now it looks like the mothership is gonna do a landing any day. I hope we are almost ready for the sand, and then we'll put down a tarp, and then the actual pool can get put up and go together, so we can enjoy it at least for a little bit. It really doesn't get cool here until October, so hopefully we can enjoy it for a couple of months at least. But anyway, we have a lot going on, so when these tomatoes needed to be done, I really didn't have time to do them. So I lost a few of them, got about a half a 5-gallon bucket, got those processed and made into salsa. So it's here. Anyway, sometimes it just takes time, and that's okay. We just have to go with the flow and get things done when we can get them done. Now yesterday I washed my jars, so in just a little bit I'm going to go ahead and put them in my canner. That way they come up to temperature, so when my salsa comes up to temperature, I can put hot salsa in hot jars into hot water. I don't want any thermal shock of cold salsa, warm jars. That is a recipe for disaster. You can have jars explode, different things going on, so we do not want that. So we're going to heat up everything to where it's all the same temperature. Then we will put our jars back in here, and once this comes to a boil, we will process for 20 minutes. We'll turn the heat off and let this sit. I'm not actually going to take the jars out immediately. I'm going to let this sit for probably 10 or 15 minutes. Then we'll remove the jars and let them cool completely. At that point, the lids should seal, and the little tops will pop, and then we will be shelf stable. Now, if I have some that do not seal, those will just go into the refrigerator. No big deal there. And when I get ready to put these in the pantry, they will be completely cooled. We will take the rings off just in case we have a seal to come loose in the storage process or whatever. We don't want to get a bad seal. But this is coming up to temp now. This is getting warm. I think we're good. Our salsa is also coming up to temp, so I'm going to go ahead and get our jars out of the dishwasher, our clean jars, into our warm water, and let them come up to temp too. Now, if you remember yesterday, this was very, very loose and liquidy, but it thickened up great. I cooked this a little bit to get some of that liquid out, and for this to thicken up a little bit like a salsa, like we like. So we still have little chunks of everything. There's garlic, onion, the peppers. Everything looks great. And like I said, Clarence kept some out, and it's pretty good. I tweaked the salt just a little bit because I didn't feel like it had quite enough for our flavor. He says now that it's perfect, it's fine. So I have at the moment 5 pint jars in our canner. Will that be enough? I don't know. But I have, I think, 2 more in the dishwasher just in case, and I want to keep some in the refrigerator. So we're going to see how it works out. Okay, let's see if we can can some salsa. So let's empty any water out. You got to be very careful. These are hot. Okay, here we go. Just gonna give it a good stir. And we start filling. And try not to make a huge mess. I'm trying to get, we're going to do an inch headspace in these jars. So, just working my salsa around to get that. We're probably going to need more jars. Okay, let me see what I got. Hold on. Okay, I have 2 more jars in here. Space is always a thing when I go to do this. And I know you're not able to see very well, but I'll show you the jars as we go into the canner. Okay, let me get my rings. All right, I got 9 jars in my canner. I have 1 jar left and a little bit in the pot, so I'm probably going to just put that in the refrigerator. But we're going to lower this in, I hope. Okay, water is covering our jars by at least 1 inch. We're going to turn up the heat and bring this up to a boil. And then once this starts boiling, and I have bubbles now, but that's getting rid of air pockets and things like that. But once this comes up to a rolling boil, we will time it for 20 minutes. Where's my lid? That will help it come up faster. Now I have a little bit left here in my pot, so I'm just going to put this in just a regular container. I had a little bit to stick, so I hope it does not have a scorched taste. We still have about 16 minutes on our salsa. 9 jars in there, 9 pints. I have 1 pint to go in the refrigerator, and I got a half pint. And then I had just a little bit to go on a plate. So while this is processing, I need to load the dishwasher, and I'm gonna snack. It's got the heat we like. It's got plenty of salt, seasoning. It's great. Clarence had some with lunch. This would be even better if it was cold, but I'll take it warm. But I'm going to snack and load the dishwasher and wait 15 minutes. Okay, our timer is going off for our 20 minutes. So we're going to stop it. We're going to turn the eye off. Let me see. Hot. Be very careful with this because steam does escape. And it will burn you. So we're going to let that sit for 15 minutes. So I'm going to put a timer on for that. Once that timer goes off, I'll move them to a towel where they can completely cool. All right, we have 9 out of the canner. We have our extra one and our little half pint to go in the refrigerator. We're waiting for them to start cooling and the tops pop. But I'm not going to wait around for that because I need to go I need to go to the chicken house and get to work. It is 2:33 and we probably are going to work on the pool again this afternoon. So, just busy, busy, busy. But after 3 days of trying, we have canned salsa. I will post the recipe that I used down below, and I will make notations of what I changed or what I added. So, I appreciate each and every one of you, and until next time, I'll see you later.